Welcome to the 109th edition of Pod Universal, India's first and leading pod magazine published by Prime Point Foundation. I am K. Srinivasan, editor of Pod Universal, welcoming you to this show. This edition is released on 11 September 2010, which is celebrated by the entire country as Ganesha Chaturthi or Ganesh Festival. Lord Ganesha, or popularly known as Vinayaka, is one of the most favorite deities in the world among the Hindus. Lord Ganesha, with his big elephant head, 5 hands, 1 trunk, 2 tusks of which one is broken, small eyes, Potbellied, and a small mouse at his feet, symbolizes a wonderful management concept required for all CEOs for a better governance. When we spoke to Professor Bala V Balachandran, founder of Greatlakes Institute and one of the top 50 management gurus in the world, over telephone during his recent visit to India, he wonderfully explained the management concept revealed by Lord Ganesha. Please listen to him now.
I really tell my students that who is the ultimate CEO? And many people say Jack Welch. Some people say, probably Larry Bossidy. Some people say some other person, Ayakoka. But I think the symbolism of Lord Vinayaka, as I say Ganesh, is a great symbolism for CEO. So I say who is the ultimate CEO, and after some time I say my ultimate CEO is Lord Ganesh. And therefore naturally they will ask me, why do you say that? So let me give my own description of the various limbs and other things of Lord Ganesh in a management context. First of all, Lord Ganesh has a big head. A CEO has to be having a big head to think through a lot of things, think through the big position as well as the details. One should be having a big head but not big-headed. So a CEO has to be not haughty, not heavyweight kind of stuff, but at the same time to think beyond normal consequences. You have to think long-term, short-term, medium-term, etc. That is why the elephant head, which is a big head, is why CEO should have that. Secondly, they have to also have a good memory because they got to know their mistakes, they got to know their strengths, what worked, what did not work, why it worked, etc., etc. Then he has 2 big ears, the elephant ears or the biggest ears, and also in the head you can also know that the memory of the elephant is far outstanding, and that a CEO should have a memory. Now let us talk about the 2 ears. You should be more in a position to listen rather than speak. So that is the symbolism by this. You have to hear all those things. Some hearing will be good, some hearing will be bad, and people even may be accusing. You have to understand only Lord Ganesh has a sort of a name called Lambodara. You cannot call CEO. Lambodara means you are a pot-bellied guy. The point is there will be a lot of people who may be accusing you. You may be irritated. You may become angry. But if you are a CEO, you have to remove the anger. As a matter of fact, I always say that if you are in angry mood, you should not be in a position to think even. So that is one of the reasons that you got to be thick-skinned. Some people either not directly, you might have got only 5 feet, and they are going to tell you, look at this idiot. What the heck he thinks of himself? He is really the son of somebody. That's why he is the CEO. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten there. People will accuse you. You should not mind that. Number 3, he has the sharpest eyes. If you see a good picture of Lord Ganesh, wherever you go, you will see the eyes following you. A CEO should be in a position to follow what is going on. Very clear vision, amazing insights. And I actually say he should have 4 sights. The 4 sights in that vision is the following. You should leverage your insights. You should avoid any avoid any oversight. You should have a hindsight, and you have to lead with the foresight. So these are the 4 sights, symbolism of the sharp eyes that he has. Now he has 2 sets of teeth. One set of, note that no picture of Lord Ganesh will show you with a laughing Ganesh. So the real teeth, which is tremendously productive and useful to eat, etc., etc., is closed. similarly, there's sort of a flashy and a nice looking teeth, which are the tusks. That is what is displayed. A CEO should be displaying those things which are flashy, nice, etc., to the public world, and not give the truth, not give the secrets, not give the trump cards, not give the competitive strategic advantages. So the two sets of teeth clearly says what should be disclosed and what should not be disclosed. Any useful information should not be disclosed. That is useful to the company. Any useless information, play it out. And that is what it is. And in the tusk, you can also see something. One of the tusks is broken. Why it is broken? A CEO should not have any ego. In the long run, you go, I go, why ego in between? So he is telling us, cut the ego, take it out. And that's exactly the tusk. Now, if you come back still, he has four hands. There are four sets of players and four sets of stakeholders. One stakeholder is the investor, shareholder. That stakeholder has a laddu. He has a laddu or a modak in his hand. That is what is the dividend. That's what he is trying to give. There is another stakeholder are the suppliers. That's where he has a chain, Pasha Ankush. And this chain is essentially the supply chain management. There are suppliers. You give a long rope. If something doesn't work, you should be in a position to cut the chain. Then there are also customers. Customers are amazingly important. And he protects the customer by lifting a hand and showing that I am protecting you. He is not protecting, please note that the shareholders. The shareholders get modak or laddu. But whereas the customers are very important. And of course, finally, the internal management, internal resource, people, employees, and strategic partners, all these guys are the fourth hand. So these are the four stakeholders, and you have to balance all of them, and you have to handhold them, help them, and you have to protect them. Fortunately, Ganesha is the only person who has a fifth hand. You can call it as a nose, fifth hand, Aingaran you can call it, or the fifth hand. And what is that? That is the trunk. The engineering marvel in the world is that an elephant trunk can definitely uproot a tree. It is so strong and so mighty, but at the same time it is so delicate that it can pick a needle from the ground. A CEO should have an appetite as well as the strength, the conviction for inorganic growth and acquire companies, merge, acquire, etc. But at the same time, you have to have tremendous due diligence. You should be in a position to look at the needles, small details, everything. And that is what he is saying in the particular trunk. And then he has a huge pot belly. What is a pot belly? That's why he is called Lambodar. That pot belly is nothing but you should have an appetite for long, big, fast, and impossible dreams. Can I acquire this? Can I take over this stuff? Can I be a Fortune 500 company? Or can I be the Fortune #1 company? Whatever it is. So you should have an enormous appetite. And at the same time, you should also know that things are available and you have to take the appropriate resources. So what is Potbelly says is that the strength of the enormous resources, not only in terms of manpower, but technological power, process power, and that's what it is. He has two legs, and also he has also Pasha and Ankusha. Essentially, you should know when to stop, when to quit, when to cut. Now let us come back to the legs. He keeps two legs. He has two legs, and one leg is folded, and another leg is on the ground, deep-rooted. A CEO should understand the ground realities, deep-rooted. But at the same time, a CEO is not a CFO, is not the chief marketing officer, is not the chief production officer, is not the chief financial officer. He is above all. So therefore, you cannot have biases. You cannot have preferences. You cannot also say that you can believe anything and you cannot take sides. So therefore, I won't take any side. So he is closing that leg and folding it up, and that's what he is showing. Right in front of the leg where he is also having his COO, whom we call it as mouse. And note that mouse COO is always looking up to the boss. You should make sure that the entire officers, senior management, should be looking up to you. And you cannot look down on them. So looking up. And of course, they have incentives. And that is why, if you notice it, he is keeping right next to this right leg if you do a great job, here is a bowl full of modak or laddus. Pick any one. If you do a lousy job, I will kick your ass. And that's why he's keeping right there. So you have to have that kind of a feeling. And as a matter of fact, a CEO should be thinking of great things, how to manage, how to lead. And so therefore, he is trying to show, I am a leader. Even though you may be a smaller person, you should look up to me. And by looking up and taking the right actions with the right risk, and I am going to reward you at the same time. So the Lord is actually showing that mouse, yes, there is a carrot and a stick. Yes, there is a greed and fear. Yes, you can take or lose your job. And of course, the Lord Ganesh is one person who generally forgives people for one or two mistakes. People can make a mistake, but if you make consistent mistakes, you are out. So one chance he gives it. So sometimes he is also showing that, look, I have an axe, but I will not axe you, but I will give you my rope and I will pull you back. So in my opinion, if you can think on him, there are so many things that are in management, so many things the CEO does, so many things the business is involved, all can be characterized in one. So I tell them, don't break a coconut. Of course, you break a coconut, you can say, you may look brown, but you are white in your heart. So that's what you are trying to say. But the key point is, emulate, follow, and look him up, and then you will see how you can be a CEO. That's the kind of thing I generally say. But of course, we can go beyond.
Thank you, listeners. That was Professor Bala Balachandran, a well-known management guru, explaining the management concepts revealed by Lord Ganesha. For more updates, please log on to poduniversal.com. Please send in your comments and suggestions to editor@poduniversal.com. This is K. Srinivasan, editor of Pod Universal, signing off from the show. Till we meet next, take care and bye.